Please make your way to your seats. The general session will begin shortly. Please take this moment to ensure your mobile device is on silent mode. Thank you for your cooperation. Please be seated. Our program will begin in 1 minute. General Session 5, June 22nd, 2025. Call to order.
I know. Can you hear me now? I'm Charles Dumont, one of your UUA co-moderators. I'm a member of the Unitarian University of San Mateo, California, and I am also a member of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. My pronouns are he and him. I'm an older white man with gray hair, a gray beard, and a gray mustache. I'm wearing a blue button-down shirt, and my bright red reading glasses are back for another session. I now call to order the fifth and final general session of the 64th General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association. As we gather this afternoon, we do so in the wake of learning our country has entered the escalating military conflict between Israel and Iran, amid the ongoing violence, repression, and devastation in Gaza and across Palestine. Last night, the UUA released a statement condemning this as a deep moral failure. Throughout our 200-year history, and especially in recent times, we UUs have supported peacemaking efforts and addressed the root causes of conflict. Here at GA, we have been monitoring this situation, working with our movement and organizing partners, and supporting our most impacted communities. Unitarian Universalists will continue to work for a world where our shared values of pluralism and interdependence are realized. Today's business agenda includes, in the following order, opening words and chalice lighting, update on the results from yesterday's ballot and final credentials reports, final report from the GA care teams, a reflection, meet the moment synthesis, the Angus H. McLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education, the President's Award for Volunteer Service, then we'll celebrate the 200th anniversary of the American Unitarian Association, then the award for distinguished service to the cause of Unitarian Universalism, an invitation to General Assembly 2026. We'll recognize all who made GA possible, and then we'll install the newly elected volunteer leaders. We'll install your new co-moderators. Then we'll have closing words, the extinguishing of the chalice, and adjournment, and then some music and celebration.
Opening words and chalice lighting.
Hello. I am the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan, Jr., and I serve as the senior minister of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond, Virginia, and I also served on your board of trustees for about 59 minutes. I am a tall, brown-skinned black man with a bald head, white beard. I'm wearing glasses and a lavender shirt with matching pants. My pronouns are he, his, him. Our opening words are from Howard Thurman. We are headed into dark times, and you need to be your own light. Do not accept brutality or cruelty as normal, even if it is sanctioned. Protect the vulnerable and encourage the afraid. If you are brave, stand up for others. If you cannot be brave, and it is often hard to be brave, be kind. But most of all, never lose sight of who you are and what you value.
Update on the results of yesterday's ballot and final credentials report.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Simmons, and I serve as your UUA secretary. I'm a member of Murray Unitarian Universalist Church in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a black man with gray hair on the sides, wearing brown-rimmed eyeglasses and a burgundy-striped shirt. I have results for yesterday's General Session 4 ballots and the final 2025 Secretary report. For the action of immediate witness, we declare and affirm immigrants are people who have inherent worth and inalienable rights. There were 1,326 total voters. 1,285, or 99.2%, voted yes to affirm the AIW. 11, or 0.8%, voted not to affirm this AIW. 30, or 2.3%, abstained. This AIW is affirmed. For the action of immediate witness, faithful defiance of authoritarianism, a call to action reaffirming our covenants for democracy and freedom, There were 1,326 total voters. 1,274, or 98.3%, voted yes to affirm this AIW. 22, or 1.7%, voted not to affirm this AIW. 30, or 2.3%, abstained. This AIW is affirmed. For the action of immediate witness, defending LGBTIQ freedom amid funding crisis, a call for global solidarity, there were 1,326 total voters. 1,249, or 98.3%, voted yes to affirm this AIW. 22, or 1.7%, voted not to affirm this AIW. 55, or 4.1%, abstained. This AIW is affirmed. And finally, the results of the ballot to select a congregational study action issue. Voting on this ballot was done using ranked choice voting. Delegates had the option to rank 3 CSAIs in order of preference. We had 1,326 total voters, and a majority of votes, or 656 votes, was needed to select a CSAI. During round 1, abolition, transformation, and faith formation received 655 votes. Housing, diversity, equity, and inclusion received 460 votes. Fat liberation, building justice, and inclusion for larger bodies received 196 votes. Since no CSAI received a majority of the votes in this round, the CSAI with the fewest votes was eliminated, and its votes were redistributed in the next round until a winner was selected. So during round 2, abolition, transformation, and faith formation gained an additional 133 votes for a total of 788 votes. Housing, diversity, equity, and inclusion received an additional 60 votes for a total of 520 votes. 3 votes were exhausted, which meant voters did not rank enough CSAIs or their preferred CSAI was eliminated. 15 votes abstained. So the CSAI, abolition, transformation, and faith formation is selected. And now my final report for the 2025 General Assembly. There were 3,279 confirmed attendees, including 94 young people. 2,899 were multi-platform, 380 were business only. There were 2,483 attendees on site and 796 online, which included 460 full-time and 380 business-only attendees. Not reflected in the above numbers were the 143 children that were on site. Regarding our delegates, there were 1,882 credentialed delegates from 592 congregations in 48 states and 4 countries: Canada, France, Mexico, and the Virgin Islands. There were 1,543 multi-platform delegates and 339 business-only delegates. The delegates included 1,433 congregation members, 329 ministers, 117 religious educators, and 3 associate member organizations. And now let's receive the final report from this year's GA team.
Final report from the GA care teams.
Hi, my name is Chloe Meyer. I've had the pleasure of co-leading the safety team this year with Michael Solwasser. I am here from Olympia, Washington. I am a white woman with medium-length brown curly hair. I'm wearing a red shirt. I use she, her pronouns. Excuse me. A team of 9 volunteers, plus Michael and myself, had prepared for a variety of different situations we would need to act on. We assisted in a medical emergency in which the attendee is now receiving the care that they need. We informed people of the storm that some of us may or may not have been prepared for. I personally stepped out in the rain in my chacos and a smile on my face. As our team said many times, an uneventful shift is a good shift, and we are thankful for that. While we recognize that we were able to stay safe within our bubble of General Assembly, we also recognize that beyond our safe space here, there are less than safe happenings. Our hearts and spirits are with you as we make the transition from our safe space back into an inharmonious world. Please reach out to your support system, which may include ministers, friends, family, or colleagues, as you make the transition. Thank you.
Dear ones, I am Michael Solwasser. I am one of the 2 safety co-leads, but I am here reporting for your GA chaplains, who are led by Christina Spotty and Dr. Rodney Lemery, who is currently companioning the GA attendee who was taken to the hospital. I am a tall, white man with long brown hair and a single gold earring. I'm wearing my orange safety team sash and a purple volunteer t-shirt. Chaplains have been responding to care requests since Wednesday, and were involved with coordinating care in response to the Scrimeti decision. Some have come to us seeking care and support having to do with personal concerns outside of GA, as well as responses to concerns from within. Our team has been grateful to provide you with this care. We know this week has been long and hard for many of you. Many in our marginalized communities have experienced ouches and harms here, their needs dismissed, their spaces violated, feelings overlooked. And we have witnessed many of you reaching out to offer mutual care and support. We have extended our community of care to those providing care for our community, and much more. Thank you to all of you who have practiced putting love at the center, leaning into the discomfort of growth, and practicing, however imperfectly, creating a beloved community. We have a long way to go, and our chaplains will be here to journey with all of you as you travel this bumpy road to collective liberation together.
Happy Sunday. I am Kim Diana Connolly. I use she, they pronouns. Today, I am wearing an American Association for the Advancement of Science t-shirt that uses chemical symbols to spell out inclusion, and then says inclusion is elemental. I'm a white woman with long, light brown hair, glasses, and still wearing my Covenant Team stole. I'm a proud member of the UU Amherst congregation in Western New York on the land of the Haudenosaunee, and also a member of the Church of the Larger Fellowship. I have the honor of serving as the co-lead of your Covenant team, with Margalie Belzar, and working with the rest of the amazing care teams. And I just want to do a shout out to all of the care team members, and especially the Covenant team, folks who just did so much work. As a reminder, for the next day, you can still, or for the balance of this day, if you have something you want to raise, you can still email us. So do that. We're not going to be hanging out in room 331 anymore, though. So if you need a hug, you need to find me in the hallway. So now my formal report. As this General Assembly comes to a close, your 2025 Covenant team offers our heartfelt thanks. As a group of volunteers, it has been a privilege to serve you. So many of you entrusted us with your stories, your pain, your witness, your hopes for our faith. We were honored to listen and be with you in person and online. I want you to know that all of our teams get to write a more detailed report to the UUA in the weeks ahead. We will reflect what's lifted up to us, but hold confidences with care and respect. So a couple of things that we want to report on. We want to extend our gratitude to all who showed up in Covenant and wearing your masks in shared spaces out of care for the most vulnerable among us. Your choices to wear masks mattered. We were disappointed that some of you chose not to honor, maybe not any of you in this room, I can't see you because it's too bright, but some chose not to honor this shared covenantal commitment. But we remain so grateful to the many, many, many of you who embodied love in action through masking. We want to acknowledge that there were repeated instances of harm reported by a not insignificant number of you that were caused by a single individual this week online. In our written report, we will be recommending that the UUA consider clearer and firmer guidelines for remaining in Covenant and GA spaces and a different approach for dealing with repeat offenders. In our community, we make amends, we love one another, we accept differences, but we have to live in Covenant, not just when it's easy and convenient, but always. And so that's what our recommendation will be. We heard far too many important and heartfelt concerns from our siblings in the accessibility team and people who are facing accessibility challenges. Despite the efforts from UUA and many of you here at GA, there are still so many challenges. So we have committed to work closely with the other care teams after GA and meet with them to prepare for and advocate more comprehensive, collective recommendations for the UUA with the goal of making future gatherings even more inclusive. Several participants raised concerns about personal self-descriptors and the various ways that we have used them here in various sessions. So we actually will be recommending that the UUA consider issuing clearer and more standard guidelines to help people understand how, when they're at this space, or even when they are making presentations as part of as a member of the public in the pro or con lines, how to give those descriptors. We will be doing that in our reports. Given the broad number of systemic concerns that were raised by so many of you this year, in recent years, the systemic justice team wasn't all that busy. There were so many systemic things that were raised this year that our care teams will be jointly recommending that a systemic justice team be recreated for next year's GA. In the meantime, do know that we heard these and we will be reflecting the systemic issues that you raised in the reports of this year's care teams. They're not going to go unaddressed. They're going to be in our reports. And not just as a PS, we're going to be highlighting them. So in closing, I just want to lift up something amazing that all of us on the Covenant team observed. We observed so many of you living into Covenant broadly. In your words, in your actions, in your care for one another. And so many of you reminding others, when needed, to come into Covenant. When we observed or heard about these reports, we felt proud of our faith and its capacity to nurture love, transformation, and accountability. So blessings to each of you, and thank you for being a part of our GA 2025 covenantal community.
I'm waiting to hear Stephanie's voice, but it may not be coming. So let's hear from the Reverend Ashley Horan and the Reverend Kirsten Humblet Allen, who are sometimes mistaken for twins, about Meet the Moment.
Meet the Moment synthesis.
I'm the Reverend Kirsten Humblet Allen.
And I am the Reverend Ashley Horan.
My
pronouns are she and her. I am a fat, white, queer femme with bangs and an undercut, wearing big earrings, red lipstick, and a floral print.
I am currently serving as the Meet the Moment project manager.
And I am the UUA's Vice President for Programs and Ministries.
A wave is a disturbance in a medium, the way energy moves through its context. Waves can teach us. When the wave encounters a change in the medium through which it is moving, when light refracts through a prism, or reflects off a mirror, or filters through an opening in the clouds, it does not stop moving, nor does it continue in the same way it had been moving before. It is changed, and it finds a new way to keep moving forward.
This week, across 11 different spaces on 3 consecutive days, you have gotten to hear from our WAVE cohorts, groups that have been meeting to imagine how UUs can shift, amplify, redirect, or spread out our energy in the midst of unfathomable changes in the social, political, religious medium around us. Whether talking about whole church ministry, administrative capacity, supporting parents, or living into our dreams for racial justice, these WAVE cohorts modeled developing shared analysis by asking, what is the moment we are in? They lifted up their answers to the question, what are the most urgent and important needs of this moment and the opportunities? They showed us how to hold the heart of our faith in discerning how do our UU values call us to respond in this moment.
The WAVE cohort model and these 3 questions are the backbone of the first phase of the Meet the Moment framework, a container to help Unitarian Universalism build shared analysis, discern needs and opportunities, and take strategic, values-based action on the local, regional, and national level. This public debut of the Meet the Moment framework at General Assembly is just that, a beginning that we hope will iteratively ripple out across Unitarian Universalism over the coming months and years, strengthening our collective musculature of relationship, skills, tools, and discernment practices for aligning our energy and amplifying our collective power.
In the coming weeks, we will be releasing a suite of resources for you to use in your contexts. Videos, facilitation guides, data collections, and stories designed to help us navigate, analyze, prioritize, and act in this moment together. Additionally, 20 new WAVE cohorts on a variety of topics will be launching this fall, and we hope you will consider joining one. You can look for all of this and sign up for Meet the Moment email updates at uua.org/meetthemoment.
We offer our deep gratitude to the many, many people who helped imagine, launch, support, and run Meet the Moment programming here at this General Assembly. Thank you to our WAVE cohort facilitators and participants, our Meet the Moment volunteers, and our UUA staff colleagues. Thank you to UUA leadership and staff who have offered their time, skills, and expertise to launch and refine this framework. And a very special thank you to Betty Clark, Executive Assistant to the Vice Presidents, who is the real engine that makes it all go.
We often describe Unitarian Universalism as a movement, and this is the moment for us to get really intentional and strategic and spiritually grounded about how we are moving, beloveds. The waters around us have changed, so how will we shift, change, redirect, and amplify our collective energy? We can, we must, we will. And we are excited to meet this moment with you. Let's go.
And now, the Angus H. McLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education.
Angus H. McLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education.
I'm Nal Bethay, co-director of the UUA's Lifespan Faith Engagement Office. I'm a light-skinned Asian American person in my 40s, short, with dark hair and brown eyes.
And I'm Susan Dana Lawrence, managing editor for Lifespan Faith Engagement. I'm a light-skinned woman of small size with black and white hair pinned up, and I'm wearing glasses. It is our honor to present the Angus McLean Award for Excellence in Religious Education. This award is given to someone who's contributed to the quality of religious education at the local and associational level, brought dignity to the profession of religious education, and been a leader in Unitarian Universalist faith development for all ages. This year, we honor the Reverend Dr. Natalie Maxwell Fenimore.
Across her work serving congregations, mentoring others, and championing associational change, Reverend Dr. Fenimore has exhibited care, generosity, honesty, and wisdom. Over 27 years, she served as a director of religious education and later minister of religious education in Maryland, Virginia, and New York congregations. Since 2013, she's been the minister of she's been a minister of Lifespan Faith and Education at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Shelter Rock in Manhasset, New York, and was called as lead minister 3 years ago. She centers religious education as a core practice of Unitarian Universalism, responding to a call to continually learn and grow how to do the real work that needs doing in front of us, day in and day out. Reverend Dr. Fenimore was the first Black woman president of the Liberal Religious Educators Association, and she serves as a good officer and has mentored and supported countless religious educators throughout her career. She's also given her time as a member of the Board of Trustees for both the Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association and Star King School for the Ministry. Reverend Dr. Fenimore is an author of Unitarian Universalist Religious Education Curriculum and Renaissance Now Sparks modules, meditations, and readings. Her Doctor of Ministry area of study is narrative theology, with an emphasis on story and faith identity development for African American Unitarian Universalists. She was on one of the first Tapestry of Faith children's author teams and has led us across a changing culture of religious education and faith development through to the recent Threshold Conversations planning team. She's led with a depth of faith and commitment to the UU movement through tumultuous times, our Great Awakening, and into the follow-up work as part of the Commission on Institutional Change. The monumental production of the Commission's report and work, Widening the Circle of Concern, has served as a guide to our era's call to faith and action in Unitarian Universalism. The chapter Educating for Liberation, as well as her engaging sermon at the 2021 Service of the Living Tradition, clearly outline a path in which we can accompany our fears and obstacles with action and hope toward our true selves.
Natalie, you once wrote, "I am in love with the Unitarian Universalism that does not yet exist. But I have to hold both the love for that thing and the love for the reality, wanting to be there in that struggle. That's why I'm fighting." You balance commitment, loyalty, and faith with thoughtful, loving criticism, and more importantly, a willingness to lead and do the work of rebuilding and reshaping. Your actions seem to ask of us, do we want to blow this thing up completely? Versus, what can we do? How can we move forward together? Your centered, transparent manner in complicated situations builds trust in what is possible. Natalie, we joyfully recognize you for all you have given to us with grace and unflappable integrity in love and in struggle. The joint UUA and Loretta Award Committee presents you with the 2025 Angus H. McLean Award.
Thank you. Thank you to the Liberal Religious Educators Association and the Unitarian Universalist Association for this award. I am Natalie Fenimore, a brown-skinned woman, she, her, with short, ever-graying hair, black-rimmed glasses, and I'm wearing a white dress. I'm honored and deeply appreciate this affirmation of my ministry. I'm also deeply, deeply grateful for the many religious educators who have been my colleagues and friends over the decades. Religious educators have been at the forefront of our faith tradition, teaching, learning, and always challenging and moving us forward. The legacy is present at times of anxiety, times of fear, times when we face the worst, in times like these. Our religious educators remain dedicated to truth-telling and justice-making. We know that all our siblings are holy. We know that diversity, equity, and inclusion are words that stand for trying to tell the whole truth and attempting to turn the world right. We know that we can be both against anti-Semitism and against the bombing in Gaza. We know that we can support freedom in our schools and universities and teach critical thinking. Our liberal faith can only survive in democratic freedom. We must work together for that freedom. We must resist all oppression. This faith, which religious educators support, is love-centered, resilient, strong. We go through this fire together. We survive and thrive together. We will speak in freedom with compassion. We will say each other's names and not be disappeared. In the words of Angus MacLean, we wonder about truth, about all the whats and whys and whethers of life. Wondering is very important, but it should bear fruits of faith and thought. It should turn our faces to whatever is coming down the winds of time and circumstance. Religion without the adventure of becoming is a poor business. Thank you.
And now, please welcome UUA President Sophia Bentancur to give the President's Award for Volunteer Service.
President's Award for Volunteer Service.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, a fat, queer, Afro-Latina, cisgender woman with light caramel-colored skin. My locks are down today, and I'm wearing white and gold in honor of Amanda Thomas and the loved ones we are grieving this year. The President's Award for Volunteer Service to the Unitarian Universalist Association is given to the person or organization designated by the President as having given extraordinary and vital service to the UUA as a volunteer. I am proud, so proud, to recognize as the recipient of the 2025 Volunteer Service Award, Larry Ladd. It's worth celebrating. Born and raised in this tradition, Larry Ladd is a third-generation Unitarian Universalist whose deep-rooted connection to this faith has spanned decades of dedication and service at the UUA, at our UU identity schools, and our congregations. Larry's involvement with Unitarian Universalism began at a young age when he became actively engaged in liberal religious youth, or LRY, leading to his service as Continental President. At just 19 years old, Larry was elected to the Commission on Appraisal. Wow. Larry has contributed his expertise in strategic planning, governance, and financial stewardship across countless UU committees. His roles have included service on the UUA Board of Trustees, 3 terms, bless him, as the UUA's financial advisor, and positions on the audit, nominating, and investment committees, among so many others. He currently serves on our bylaws renewal team, reimagining how our governance can support a vibrant and evolving faith. Larry is a dedicated advisor to UU theological schools and has served as a board member and chair at Meadville Lombard Theological School and as an advisor at Star King School for the Ministry. In recognition of his outstanding contributions, Meadville Lombard awarded him an honorary doctorate in 2013. Larry is a current and longtime member of the UU Fellowship of Falmouth, where he has held numerous leadership positions, including president, denominational affairs chair, and ministerial search committee leader. Through the decades, Unitarian Universalism has been shaped by Larry Ladd's love and dedication to our faith. We are grateful for his service, for his deep knowledge of our history and our culture, and for his skill at equipping our institutions for ministry in this ever-changing world. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Larry Ladd.
You can tell I've done this before. I'm pledging my time to you, hoping you'll come through too. Those words from a 1966 Bob Dylan song came into my head when I listened to Sophia's words right now. As you can tell, I've been pledging my time, hoping you'll come through too. I first attended a General Assembly and spoke in front of it in 1969. It was a moment of high hopes with a commitment to Black empowerment on the line. With many of my compatriots, we walked out of that General Assembly when it hesitated to take any risks. We did come back, and the commitment to black empowerment was restored, but only for a fleeting moment. Because the UUA, as an institution, and its president and board at that time were an embodiment of white supremacy culture. They controlled the narrative and the levers of power. 2 General Assembly votes could not overcome that power. I learned at that General Assembly 56 years ago the power of institutions, both to make change and to resist change. So I became an institutionalist, committed to making our institutions inclusive, agile, and justice-seeking, and Unitarian Universalism a deeper, vibrant, principled, and risk-taking faith. Words cannot express my own joy to see what Unitarian Universalism is now working to become. If you look at the recipients of this award in the past, it is largely a mid-career award. The recipients made significant contributions long after receiving it. May that also be the case with me. Because I'm pledging my time to you, hoping you'll come through too.
And now let's celebrate the 200th anniversary of the American Unitarian Association with Reverend Nancy MacDonald Ladd.
Celebration of the 200th anniversary of the American Unitarian Association, AUA.
Yes, we're related. My name is the Reverend Nancy MacDonald Ladd. I am a 40-something cis white woman with brown hair, dark-rimmed glasses, and I am grateful to be serving as our association's Director of Communications and Public Ministry. We gather here in Baltimore, just moments away from the pulpit William Ellery Channing occupied when he preached 90 minutes of what we now call the Baltimore Sermon. That foundational text, which came to serve as a kind of declaration that Unitarianism existed as a point on the landscape of American religion and indeed was here to stay. That event took place in May of 1819, leading up to a day 200 years and 1 month ago when Channing's friends, colleagues, and occasional disputants came to the Berry Street Conference with a charter in hand for what would become the American Unitarian Association. That very institution, so challenged to stretch itself and to stretch its own tendencies toward conservatism. In fact, the AUA was founded quite by coincidence on the exact same day as our partners in faith across the pond gathered to charter the Association of British Unitarians, friends from which are here to honor that anniversary alongside us here at General Assembly this year. Yes, my colleagues, we have gathered on the 200th anniversary of not just one, but two of the formational institutions who made us what we are and challenge us to become what we yet can be. As our worship web team, working with noted historians Reverend Dr. Meg Richardson and Reverend Mark Harris wrote, in the United States, the creation of the AUA provided an institutional incarnation for Unitarians, which was a new phenomenon. Some among us were indeed quite dubious about such institutional incarnation. In fact, our historians tell us William Ellery Channing himself was asked to serve as the AUA's very first president, and he refused, because he felt that by accruing power, the institution would take that power away from the individuals that comprise it. It is important to note that at the very outset, the AUA was an organization for individuals, not for congregations. Since congregations couldn't join the AUA until much later in 1884, it took Unitarians a while to figure out how to relate to that institution we know as the AUA, and in time, its inheritor tradition in which we gather. My friends, the age-old dance of interconnection and individuality is one we have been dancing for generation upon generation, informing and challenging each other all along the way. Ours is a tradition of unity and dissent, courage and caution, soaring preaching and music that reaches beyond our sanctuaries and into the poetic heart of this very nation. Ours is a tradition that has found itself time and again out on the edges of what is, pushing the culture to consider what it could be, what it must be. New ways, not just of being religious, but of being a country, of being an institution and a body of flawed human beings dreaming of the ineffable unity that calls us and claims us and knows us each by name. Happy anniversary, American Unitarian Association. What a challenging and a beautiful legacy we are the inheritors of.
The 200th anniversary of the founding of the American Unitarian Association is an opportunity for Unitarian Universalists to ground ourselves in our deeply religious, intentional, and evolving living tradition. We mark this anniversary from the official founding of the American Unitarian Association on May 25th, 1825, which drew inspiration and power from William Ellery Channing's foundational Baltimore sermon in May of 1819.
What's so interesting about Channing's Baltimore sermon, Unitarian Christianity, is that it's a moment when he gathers the ideas that are already out there, that are already being preached from the pulpits, that members of his congregation and other liberals are embracing. But he takes the time to put it in this cogent hour-and-a-half sermon that really develops a platform for liberal religion, or what we know today as Unitarianism. He takes the theological concept of Unitarian and he redefines it. It was being used as a critique, as a pejorative label by conservatives and Congregationalism. He takes back the term Unitarian, and through that sermon he defines it.
And in that moment he was talking to us about the aspects of Christian tradition that felt key, central to our faith. Touchstones, or big rocks we might call them, to who we were becoming and what we needed to not lose hold of, right, in the history that was to come.
Channing was saying that it mattered how you understood yourself in the world. It mattered how you understood yourself, not born of original sin, but born with the potential, the possibility of good, and how to act that good out into the world.
We have a beautiful tradition in Unitarian Universalism where opportunities to speak on the occasion of someone's ordination serve as opportunities to speak to the heart of the faith itself. And I believe that's part of what Channing was doing when he delivered the Baltimore sermon.
In some ways, Channing's sermon could be read as something more personal. But again, those seeds are there where you can think about the moral character of our institutions, the moral character of our association, the moral character of our actions, whether it's a church or an organization or a chaplaincy. How can we work to make this world more just, more humane, to help the world meet our imagination of what is possible? It's a foundation that inspires us to this day. It's a foundation that helps us understand that our roots are deep.
Part of what we have seen since that May in 1819 is multiple moments when Unitarians and Universalists and then Unitarian Universalists have been asked to really refine who we are, to hold fast to the legacies of our inherited theological tradition, to our history, and to lean in through our living tradition to the needs of the moment and the needs of the day. This question for us on the occasion of our 200th anniversary is, who do we most long to be? And what are we claiming that helps us know how to live into being that next thing together without losing who we've been, without losing hold of one another, but in answering the call and meeting the moment of today?
So Channing's development as a human being, as a minister, as a thinker, happened throughout his life, like it does for any of us or our institutions. There's change, there's new experiences, there's study, there's transformations. And Unitarian Christianity is one of those places that happens for him, but he certainly didn't stop thinking or developing after that. He continued on to minister for a couple of decades and continue to have that change and transformation.
May we lean back to Channing. May we lean forward from Channing through those forebears who asked us to consider new things and to be who we most are. Together, I know that Unitarian Universalism has everything that it needs to respond today.
Award for Distinguished Service to the Cause of Unitarian Universalism.
Again, my name is John Simmons. I am the chairperson of, give me 1 second here, my system just went a little bit wonky. Okay. I'm the chairperson of the committee for the annual award for distinguished service to the cause of Unitarian Universalism, and I will be announcing this year's award recipient. The Award for Distinguished Service is one of the most prestigious awards given by our association. The award committee sought nominations from throughout our association, so it may select from a broad range of the most exemplary leaders in our movement. Candidates for this award should, over a considerable period of time, have strengthened the institutions of our Unitarian Universalist denomination, or clarified our message in an extraordinary way. They should exemplify what Unitarian Universalism stands for. So I am delighted and honored to announce the 2025 Award for Distinguished Service to the Cause of Unitarian Universalism goes to Dr. Paula Cole-Jones. And now let's hear from William S. Rice III, the Reverend Dr. Tracy Robinson Harris, and the Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt.
I'm Bill Rice. I want first to reflect on my family's rich, over 40-year relationship with Paula Cole Jones and her family. I first met Paula as her calculus professor at the University of the District of Columbia. But before that, my wife Chevy and Paula's brother David were high school classmates in our native Washington, D.C. A few years later, Chevy worked at Children's Hospital with Roderick, another of Paula's brothers. In the early 1980s, already close neighbors in Northeast Washington, our families came together at All Souls Church. Paula and her mother Betty were lifelong Unitarians and were both indispensable guides to our new faith. Paula is an engaged listener and communicator. Over the years, we have had long discussions about church polity, about adult spiritual development, including anti-racism curricula, about youth religious education, and I have to mention about the trials and pleasures of raising teenage daughters. As a trained scientist, a plant biologist, Paula has the analytical skills, some of which may even have come from her long ago calculus course, to negotiate complexities of the tasks she undertakes. All of Paula's work is informed and enhanced by her skillful integration of intellect and compassion. Congratulations, Paula, on this well-deserved recognition.
Miles Davis asks a lot of the guys in his band. He explains it like this. If you put a musician in a place where he has to do something different from what he does all the time, he can do that, but he's got to think differently, use his imagination, be more creative, more innovative, take more risk. I've always told the musicians in my band to play what they know and then play above that, where great art and music happen. When Paula and I first met, I knew nothing about what Miles told his band. After years of partnership, after hearing her tell this story, in gratitude for Paula's leadership and with just a bit of translation, what Miles said is what Paula does. She challenges us to play above what we know, to do something different from what we do all the time. She helps us understand where we are, how we got here, and what keeps us here. She encourages us to be more imaginative, more innovative, to take more risks. Think of the 8th Principle Project and how it informs our values, including justice, transformation, equity, all centered in love. Thank you, Paula, for your faithful insistence that our community of faith can become what we aspire to be.
Beloveds, I'm the Reverend Dr. Sofia Betancourt, and it is my profound privilege to serve as president of your Unitarian Universalist Association. On this day, it brings me such profound joy to participate in awarding Dr. Paula Cole Jones the Award for Distinguished Service for her many, many years of faithful, groundbreaking, creative, innovative, faithful service to our tradition. I've had the privilege of partnering with Paula, goodness, on the staff of the UUA and multiple committees, but more than anything else, as a member in community, in the community of communities that she has taught us about so clearly, when we have worked together in the service of justice, of equity, of transformation in this faith that we love. Dr. Paula has put more into building this beloved community and the idea of beloved community as a whole than almost anyone I know. Paula held a vision for where we could arrive as Unitarian Universalists if we just held fast to the values that we hold in common cause. I know for myself and for many others, not just the mentoring, but the hope holding, the reassuring that there would be a turning point, a pivot moment, when we would come together as a faith with clarity, not uniformity, not a requirement, but with shared values, driving who we most know we long to be. I believe Unitarian Universalism is forever changed because of the witness that Dr. Paula Cole-Jones held so faithfully on our behalf. Paula, for your teaching, your mentoring, your risk-taking, your leading, your belief, your unshakable belief in us, I thank you. You are so deserving of this award, and we are so blessed for the many years of your ministry, your leadership, and your faithful witness. Thank you, beloved.
The citation reads, Paula Cole-Jones models the committed life. She has committed to her family and her church, All Souls in Washington, D.C. She has committed to innovation and creativity, to diversity, inclusion, and justice, and to Unitarian Universalism. At the center of her commitments is love. She is a leader who has exemplified the values of Unitarian Universalism. All Souls UU Church in Washington, D.C. is where it all began. It was the church that Paula Cole-Jones's mother found after hearing about Abe Howell Davies and his work on desegregation. Davies' theology and that of his successor, Duncan Howlett, intrigued her mother enough to bring her 5 children to All Souls Sunday School and become involved in the church. The church became a big part of their lives. All Souls DC is foundational to Paula Cole-Jones. It has been a place of grounding and inspiration for her work. During Paula Cole-Jones's coming-of-age years, the Reverend David Eaton arrived at All Souls, the first black minister in a large UU congregation. All Souls shaped her understanding of theology, faith formation, and community Unitarian Universalism. Her experience of All Souls during these formative years was an experience of the beloved community. As an adult, Paula Cole-Jones continued to attend All Souls and raised her daughter to be a Unitarian Universalist. She worked in the U.S. government as a natural resource manager and as a facilitator for program development and problem solving. Throughout her life, she has brought innovation and creativity to her work, embracing new directions, launching programs, and new initiatives. Paula Cole-Jones likes to start things. Her work in Unitarian Universalism has focused on diversity, justice, and inclusion. She founded the program ADORE, a dialogue on race and ethnicity. She served as the president of DRUM, Diverse and Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries. She has been a member of the 360 Elder Council in Blue, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalists. She has invited congregations to think of themselves in more expansive terms, as a community of communities. She has worked in several UU leadership roles in various capacities, including on the regional and national levels. Through it all, she has always been there for All Souls. When the congregation lost its way, Paula Cole-Jones moved into the fray to help guide the congregation back to being a beloved community. Paula Cole-Jones has a profoundly clear commitment to future generations and how we must fulfill our UU promises for younger people. She keenly feels the presence of the ancestors in her work. She knows the ancestors are waiting for us to do what they were unable to do, and she understands that this work is no less than spiritual work. Key to that promise-keeping to ourselves and future generations is the transformation of the Unitarian Universalist 7 principles from a set of values that implies our commitments to a set of shared values that explicitly name our commitments, that point the way to the beloved community. 25 years ago, the UUA committed to anti-racism. However, Paula Cole-Jones reminds us that we never went back to reflect that commitment in our principles. And it was after a conversation she had with Bruce Pollock Johnson about that commitment that the 8th principle emerged. It gives us a collective understanding of the principles in a multicultural context. The 8th principle gives us what Paula Jones calls the missing piece. She reminds us that we can't get where we are going if we can't hold an idea of its shape. How can you lead if you don't share a vision of where you are going? Out of her 8th principle work, the UUA asked Paula Cole-Jones to work with others to revisit Article 2 in the UUA bylaws through the Article 2 Study Commission. She joined the commission that successfully led us through a 4-year process that brought us to shared values and covenants. Activist, writer, and teacher, Bell Hooks asks us to see our lives and our fate as intimately connected to those of everyone else on the planet. Love calls us to do more. With power, justice, commitment, hope, and love, and Paula Cole-Jones, you embody this call for all of us. Thank you for your distinguished service to Unitarian Universalism.
It is my honor, Dr. Paula Cole-Jones, to present you with this beautiful award to remind you every day of the esteem and the love with which you are held. But I will hold it now because it's heavy while you read.
Thank you. Thank you, John, Meg, and Charles. My thanks and deep appreciation to members of the board for recognizing my work and for modeling what it is to be a transformational and accountable leadership body. Yeah. And thank you to all who contributed to making this event possible. This UU journey began in Sunday school with my siblings who are here today. My mother kept me connected to the church until I found my place in it. She would call and ask, "Are you going to church Sunday?" I'd say yes. One day I received a call from the church board to ask if I would work with the congregation. I said yes. Little did I know, the work would become my life's calling. Never underestimate the power of an invitation. Yeah. The call and response to UUism is compelling. I used to check with my mother periodically and ask, is this a time to step back? After discussing it, we would agree, not yet. She said to me, "You never know whose life you're touching." Thank you to my parents, my husband, and my daughter, who have encouraged me to dream big, persevere, and to have courage in following the vision. Thank you to the All Souls Church community in Washington, D.C., past and present, for being my example of faith and justice in beloved community. My special thanks to Reverend Bill Sinkford and to Reverend Tracy Robinson Harris, and to all of the people who have mentored me, opened doors, and collaborated to get things done over the years. And most of all, I am grateful to have met and worked with so many UUs across the country who make a difference in the world. Thanks for all that you have done.
Thank you again, Dr. Paula Cole-Jones, for your commitment and dedication and modeling of what faith looks like over the long haul. And now it is my pleasure to introduce another very hardworking person. Let's hear about next year's General Assembly from our very own Director of General Assembly and Conference Services, LaTanya Richardson. Yay!
Invitation to General Assembly 2026.
Greetings. I am LaTanya Broom Richardson, Director of General Assembly and Conference Services. I'm an African American woman with brown skin and brown hair. My pronouns are she, her. As we close another inspiring General Assembly, I want to share what's next as we continue to evolve how we gather. The images from past GAs rotating on screen are a reminder that our collective spirit transcends time and geography. No matter where or how we gather, our community shows up. Our values endure, and our impact is lasting. These past few years, we've adapted and innovated, first out of necessity, and then out of possibility. Each experiment has helped us widen the circle of participation. Meeting virtually has made GA more accessible and less costly, financially, physically, and environmentally. And being together in person, that brings its own sacred magic. Worshiping in community, learning side by side, and bearing witness to one another. GA 2026 will offer the best of both. From June 14th through 21st, we will gather online for a few days of general sessions, followed by professional development opportunities, caucus and community connections, by intentionally allowing time between governance and other equally meaningful programming. Our pace is more manageable and there's structural flexibility. The closing weekend, June 19th through 21st, we will introduce optional in-person gatherings, including potentially a UUA host site, plus live-streamed programming, the WARE lecture, and Sunday worship. The model for GA 2026 is designed to both meet the moment and scale as our reach expands. Then, in 2027, we return to a multi-platform GA live from San Jose, California. A city rooted in innovation, sustainability, and accessibility. A vibrant interfaith and multicultural community, San Jose is an ideal destination for the future we are innovating together. So mark your calendars, June 14th through 21st of 2026 for a virtual GA with optional in-person gatherings, and June 23rd through 27th of 2027 for a multi-platform General Assembly live from San Jose.
recognition of all who made GA possible, and final words.
Charles and I want to sincerely thank all of the people who have been serving in volunteer capacities and who are completing your terms and moving on. In this time, your service is especially challenging and especially appreciated. Volunteer work is an essential part of everything the UUA does, and we do not take your work for granted. We are grateful to all of you who have shared your frustrations and your joys with us this week. We will take what we have learned, and someone will try to do it better next year. Sorry. Please be sure to fill in surveys, which will come to you after GA. LaTanya reads every word I'm going to tell you and takes them very seriously and compiles that information as we begin to envision the following year. Making GA each year takes an enormous amount of time and energy, and we want to thank all of the people who made it happen. Thanks especially to the board's Mod Squad, who have led us so skillfully through our general sessions, and to the board's process observers, and to all the tellers and the tech people who supported us thoughtfully and with agility. Making General Assembly happen truly takes a village. We thank the following groups and people.
And we're going to begin with the musicians. GA Music Coordinator, Natasha Steinmacher. This is her last year serving in this role, and we want to thank her for all she's done to provide us with the music that keeps us inspired. The Association of UU Music Ministries and all the wonderful musicians and singers who've been a part of GA this year. Our legal counsel and parliamentarian, Adrian Walker. Huh? Oh, Peg says hold your applause. Our covenant team, our systemic justice team, our chaplain team, our accessibility inclusion team, our app team, our young adults, our youth, all those who led workshops and cohorts.
Yeah, takes a village. DRUM, Diverse and Revolutionary UU Multicultural Ministries, Equal Access and the Disability Caucus, BLUE, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, TRUST, Transgender Religious Professional UUs Together, LREDA, Liberal Religious Educators Association, UUMA, the UU Ministers Association, AUUA, the Association of UU Administrators.
The GA Advisory Council, the Worship Arts Team, the ASL Interpreters, the GA Chat Hosts, the Commission on Social Witness, your Board of Trustees, our fantastic production company, Video West, as well as GA Production Manager, Michael Kyer.
This one you don't have to hold your applause for. Our stage manager, Sean Griffin. Our amazing UUA staff, Larry Stridoff, and the always creative, supportive, and knowledgeable ITS staff. The General Assembly and Conference Services Director, LaTanya Richardson, and her staff. Our remarkable president, Sophia Betancourt. Our tireless, although he might be tired, Executive Vice President Carrie McDonald. Our governance manager, Stephanie Carey Marin, without whom none of this could have happened, and to whom we bow deeply and encourage her to take some time off and rest. We didn't thank Betty, did we?
Well, see Betty.
Well, and Betty Clark, because she did so much. And thanks to all of you who discern, learn, and continue to grow on this faith journey we call Unitarian Universalism. And now, please welcome UUA Secretary John Simmons and our newly elected volunteer leaders as we install them.
Installation of newly elected volunteer leaders.
The following individuals have been elected by this General Assembly to serve on the following board, commission, and committee. For Board of Trustees, Mary Heafy. Reverend Vanessa Rush Southern. Reverend Adam Robersmith, D-Min, PhD. Reverend Justine Sullivan. For the Commission on Appraisal, Reverend Dr. Tracy Barrett. Rachel A. Feltner. Reverend Dr. Rodney Lemery. For the Nominating Committee, Kathy Charles. Courtney McKenney. Deborah Gary Boyd. Guided by love for this tradition and hope for the future, this General Assembly has duly elected members of the Board of Trustees, Commission on Appraisal, and Nominating Committee. We welcome their gifts, skills, time, sacrifice, and voice to be shared in love, trust, and dedication in the years to come. Please join with us as we covenant together to install these leaders to the offices to which we have elected them. May our Unitarian Universalist faith and heritage inform your work and deeds as you serve with our leadership, our congregations, and our staff. May your efforts and work inspire goodwill among all. As you signify Unitarian Universalism in the wider world, may you serve as an instrument of reconciliation, hope, and welcome. May you keep love in the center of your work as you seek to embody our shared values of justice, equity, pluralism, and generosity as we create an interdependent web of transformative faith. May you deal forthrightly and honestly with us, keeping foremost in your heart the health and well-being of our movement, speaking your truth without fear of repercussion, and encouraging others to do the same. Holding all this in mind and heart, do you covenant to do this work, our faith, in the coming years?
I covenant.
Would you do that?
I covenant.
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 In the spirit of hospitality and understanding among people, may all who cross your path feel they have been heard and seriously considered. We, the General Assembly, covenant to encourage you and support you as you serve our movement. May our trust carry you through both difficulty and triumph. In gratitude, we thank you for your willingness to serve.
Installation of new moderator.
Come on. Get my hearing aids when I take this on and off. It's so annoying. Sorry. I'm old. What can I say? We would like to bring our newly elected moderators, Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson and Bill Young, to the stage now. And we want to thank once again Kimberly and Bill for being willing to serve in this capacity and offering their service.
It is an awesome task to which you have committed yourself, guiding this precious religious movement in this time of peril and beauty. We are grateful for your willingness and your love for our faith.
Remaining centered in love even as you tend the sometimes tedious details and sometimes monumental challenges required in this job is not always easy. Therefore, we remind you that you are never doing the work alone.
In our tradition, the authority of leaders, of ministers, lay leaders, and presidents, or co-moderators, is granted by the people we hold in community. The call to serve may originate within a person or within whatever holy conversation has grounded their conviction. But in our polity, that call must be recognized and can only be ratified by the congregation, by the people. Ours is an embodied faith through which the sacred finds voice and moves in the world through actions. The practice of laying on hands at ordinations, installations, and circles of healing and blessing reminds us of the sources and contexts of our power. Leaders do not serve alone, and ours is always a partnered or shared ministry. They've already moved to the center.
We would not simply install you in your office, but we also wish to bless you on your journey. We invite you to be still, to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and to be held in trust by our presence here, both in person and online. No, both in the room, on site, and online, by both the touch and the outreach of our hands. You will be companioned most closely by friends and family, some with the ancestors now who are always close to you even when they are not in the room. And we invite you to hold them in your heart and your spirit, and into this circle, draw everyone in your mind's eye who is present in beloved community. Allow your ancestors' names to come to your mind. Remember who you are. Remember where you come from. Remember where you live and where your heart is most at home. Remember what you have come here to do and whose work you are doing. You are companioned in this call by a long line of worthy predecessors. We invoke the spirit of all moderators that have come before you and invite them to be with you now. You are companioned by strong leaders of our association, called to serve and elected by our people just as you have been. You will be partnered by comrades who will challenge and support you, who will draw your strength forward and look to draw out what is best in you. I now invite the members of the UUA Board of Trustees to extend a hand online, or if you are in the room, to put a hand on Bill or Kimberly's shoulders.
You're companioned also by your beloved colleagues in shared ministry. I ask religious professionals here on stage or out there in the general hall or online to rise in body or in spirit and extend a hand toward Kimberly and Bill. I invite our UUA staff to rise in body or spirit and extend a hand towards Bill and Kimberly. You are companioned by all of these people, and most importantly, you are companioned in this work by our people, the countless lay leaders who serve their congregations in our movement. There was no one else, no ecclesiastical body. Thanks, Meg, that helped.
Yeah, I helped you, sorry.
We're not long for this job. There is no one else, no ecclesiastical body, no bishop who can recognize and authorize this naming of you both as our co-moderators. the very hands and hearts that embody our faith beyond this place and in every congregation and community are laid upon and extended to you now. I ask all of those on stage to rise in body or spirit and extend a hand or lay your hand on someone who is touching Kimberly and Bill. I ask all those in the hall and online to rise in body and spirit and extend a hand toward Bill and Kimberly. Bill and Kimberly, I invite you to open your eyes and look around. It is from the trust and engagement of these beloved people that your authority derives. You are called specifically by this body of people, called out and chose to lead and to listen, to lean on them and us for wisdom, clarity, and courage. You are held in this love that is beaming right out at you.
Beloveds, would you pray with me? Kimberly and Bill, we grant you sacred authority. Your office is a holy office. Your work is holy work. We remind you never to forget who you are or whose you are, what you have come to do and why you must do it. We invite you to hold fast to your ancestors and to the descendants now and forever. We know that this is a multi-generational investment of trust and that you both are in a long line of holy leaders who have come before and who will go after. We want you to know we are here when you need us. We want you to know we need you. We want you to know that we entrust you to do this sacred work. In the name of all that is holy and beyond all naming, that space that connects each and every one of us to all of us and beyond, throughout all space and all time, we say together, amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And blessed be.
And blessed be.
Thank you for your service.
It's still you.
We are acutely aware of the absence of Stephanie Carey Marin, Governance Manager, who will work most closely with you on staff. Despite needing to leave this assembly early, she will be your first call for help and support every step of the way.
And there are so many others who will support you. Will members of board committees and working groups please identify yourselves in the room or online? These people will also be with you as you do all that must be done.
And there are past co-moderators, not just Meg and Charles, but Jenny Corder and me. We can be called when you need perspective or counsel. There are past board members and so many others who are concerned and committed to the work of our movement.
And so, we welcome you into this new leadership position. May you find joy and gratitude in the work.
We willingly take on this role of leadership for the coming years, knowing that this faith deserves all of the love we can bring. We will strive to encompass UU values in all that we do and work together with all of you to meet this moment together.
All right. Woo! Come on, join me in welcoming our new co-moderators. Yeah! Yeah! Woo-hoo! You're it. No, I'm kidding. We'll extinguish the chalice. You all could stay, just hang there for a second, I think. Okay. Yeah. Our closing words are the short poem called Late Fragment by Raymond Carver. And did you get what you wanted from this life, even so? I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. May this faith, this precious faith, oh my God, you were weepy yesterday, it's hitting me now, be a force which always helps you to know yourself beloved on this earth. As we relinquish this flame one more time, and this General Assembly comes to close, may the warm glow of the flame remain in your heart and spirit and mind. I now call for the official adjournment of the Assembly.
We no longer require a motion, a second, or a vote to adjourn.
We declare that the 2025 General Assembly of the UUA is now fully adjourned. Have a wonderful summer.